all my fight fans? So, Dana White weighed in on Francis Ngannou versus John Jones, them bumping into each other, them coming face to face with each other at the PFL last week, I believe it was, and pretty much had stated it would not work. What he meant by that was a cross promotion, possibly PFL, UFC working together to make this fight happen, and Dana White pretty much stated it would not work. My question to you guys is, why wouldn't it not work? Why would this fight not work? Well, personally, I feel like it would work. I 100% feel like it would work. The only reason why it would not work is because, of course, we know UFC is the bigger promotion. Of course, we know UFC has a bigger platform. UFC is literally the number one organization in the MMA world. So, of course, it would seem like they would have more of a promoting. They would put more money behind it. They would just have all this bigger stuff that they can do on their side, where PFL is growing, but nowhere near the level of UFC. So it does make sense to that point. But at the end of the day, cross promotions and promotions working with each other has been around for years, for decades, possibly even 100 years. God knows how long. Because you look at the boxing model that they had. You had Top Rank, you had Don King, who were the leading promotions in the earlier days, and without them actually willing to work with each other, instead of keeping their fighters inside their own house, meaning like they have their fighters that they already are promoting fight each other instead of on other promotions, we would have never got big fights. We would have never probably got the legendary fights with Muhammad Ali, Frazier, Foreman, Ken Norton, Sonny Liston, with Mike Tyson going against Evander Holyfield, Lennox Lewis, all these other great fights that we come to have and come to love and come to learn, that we end up seeing as kids and as young adults and as adults. It wasn't necessarily because in some cases it was where fighters fought each other in their own promotion, but at the end of the day, they teamed up with each other to make it happen. And that's something that UFC and the PFL have to do if they want this fight to happen. Because this fight, everybody wants. Every single fan that is a fan of MMA wants this fight to happen. Dana White is saying it wouldn't work. It seems like he's the only one that doesn't necessarily want it to happen, but just doesn't want it to happen like he wants it to happen, under his banner, under his own organization. You can't fault him for that, but at the same time, you gotta loosen up a little bit. You gotta have some type of understanding, letting things slide just a little bit. Because if you guys know your history a little bit, he actually had that a little agreement with Pride back in the day with Alistair Overeem and Chuck Liddell, where he allowed Chuck Liddell to go over there and fight, and in exchange he was going to get Alistair Overeem, I believe. I could be wrong on that, but I know it had something to do with Chuck Liddell and Pride. Where at the end of the day, Chuck Liddell ended up losing, but then when it came terms to where, hey, now let your guy come over here and fight in my organization, well, it did not come into fruition, and Dana White ended up getting screwed over. So I can understand why his hesitation on wanting to work with other promotions. But at some point, you're going to have to let your trust thing come around, because this is a big, huge blockbuster fight. There is no bigger star in each organization out there bigger than Francis Ngannou and John Jones. There is no fight out there that could potentially be bigger than John Jones and Francis Ngannou, even within the own organization. Please let me know what fight John Jones can have in that organization in UFC that would be bigger than fighting Francis Ngannou. Same question. What fight can Francis Ngannou have in that MMA organization, PFL, where he can have that would be bigger than John Jones? None of them. Simple answer. None. Not one single fight that any of these guys will ever have will be as big as these two guys fighting each other. Both owners of promotions know that. And they gotta let their egos aside. They gotta let the pride aside. And they be like, hey, you know what? One time only, cross promotion, PFL, UFC, who just so happen to be owned by the same brand, ESPN. So it can be done. Can it work? Absolutely, yes. Absolutely. Dana White should know that. Dana White 100% can make it work. Why? Because the fans want it. Because John Jones wants it. Because Francis Ngannou wants it. Everybody wants it. This is a fight where everybody wins. Fans win. John Jones wins. Francis Ngannou. Nobody loses. PFL wins. UFC wins. Everybody wins. And I get it. Again, I get it. You don't want to share that lot. You don't want to share that type of gate. You don't want to share that kind of promotion. You don't want to share it because, of course, UFC are the big dogs. UFC is the NFL. Like, hands down. Doesn't matter what anybody else says. Doesn't matter what anybody feels. You know, regarding how they feel about Dana White, UFC is the NFL of MMA. You can't take that away from them. 100%. They are the biggest brand in the MMA world. 100%. So, of course, they're going to be a little hesitant on, like, do I really want to cross-promote with another organization that's not going to be able to give as much money as we are going to give in promoting this fight? Is going to contribute as much as we contribute. Yeah, that's a little bit of an issue right there. 100% sure. Very understandable. But at the end of the day, are you going to be able to make all your money? Are you going to be able to, like, have the biggest fight in the MMA world, in MMA history? Are you going to be able to help that happen? Absolutely. You can actually get that. You can actually get all your money back 10 times more. Because this fight has been stewing. This fight has been brewing. This fight has been literally coming together just like a Mayweather-Pacquiao fight has. So much talks has been coming into this. So much. And the longer that we wait, the more we let these guys get older, the less likely we are definitely going to see it, and the less likely we're going to be interested in seeing it. With John Jones being at the age of 35, with Francis Ngannou being at the age of 36, you know, these guys don't got much shelf life left. But at the end of the day, this fight, can it work? Yes, it can. Can cross-promotion work? Yes, it can. Do we want this? Yes, we do. So please, let's somehow come together and make this fight finally happen. Guys, let me know in the comments what do you think about Dana White's words when he said it won't work. Let me know what do you think. Could it work? Will it work? Or will it just plain and simply not work? 100%. Let me know in the comments, guys. Like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.